Thank you everyone for coming and hanging out. This was awesome. I am so glad we managed to do all four of the enemies. We almost didn't actually manage to do the Ray Dow one. That fight is fucking cool. And hard. I like... So, okay, comparing this to World or Rise, I think this feels better than Rise.
Mind if I hop on?
There's like I think a lot of people didn't like the whole Wyvern riding thing from Rise. I mean I used it when it happened. I didn't really care for it. It was kind of mediocre or whatever. I like these the birds being able to run around, chase your target, sharpen, heal, do all that stuff while you're mounted. Feels really good. Like I said, I think it might make it a bit easy. Because you can just mount and then just run around a creature and just heal, and like it generally won't hit you. But I mean, if you're playing like an idiot, you're still going to run out of heals. So, as for the Insect Glaive, because that's the only weapon that I can put any notable comment on, because it's the only one I've played. Okay. The fact that they've taken away the ability to revolt yourself after the advancing slash, because the maximum times you could do it 3 times anyway, but the fact that they've removed that is kind of depressing. Because the thing that Insect Glaive used to do was fly. And like, I mean, it still can, but it's just a lot less. You can't, like, stay in the air constantly hammering a flying opponent like you used to be able to. Now you just sort of jump through them and then land and then have to re-jump and then land. And it's a bit more tedious. But I will say the fact that the wound system, at least with the Insect Glaive, granting you all 3 essences if you trigger a wound with it. And it's not hard to trigger. I'll say that. So when you use the lunge attack, you stab forward, and if any of that connects with the wound, you've done it. Then you sweep up. If any of that hits a wound, you've done it, because then you flip back and fire the bug at any wound you hit along that stab flip motion. And that triggers the bug to give you all 3 extracts. So it's not hard to do. And all 3 extracts... Because the only downtime you have on an Insect Glaive is when you're faffing about trying to get extracts. And there's a lot of monsters where getting one specific extract is a fucking ball ache. Right? Like, usually red is head or mouth or, you know, the bitey end. White is movement, which is either legs or wings or both. And then... orange is armored components, so usually back, stomach, tail sometimes. But there's a lot where like the armored component is really small, or the wings or legs are a real pain in the ass to get to. Like, there's a lot that are just kind of annoying to hit in certain areas. So if they don't have, like, big specific areas to get the extract from, it can be a real fucking time-consuming pain in the ass to get all 3 of your extracts. You saw it when I was fighting Raid Out. How many times I run around in a circle trying to get fucking Orange, because Orange is on his back, and every time I'd send my bug out, it would just... His wings are, like, 90% of the fucking screen. And then if you try and go down for his belly, his legs get in the way. Or his face, because that takes up another 9% of the screen. So you've got like 1% where you can get the fucking orange on the top of his back. So being able to just, like, get your extracts early on, farm a bunch of wounds all over it, and then when, like, in the heat of battle, when you drop your extracts, you just turn around, use your wound strike, the focus strike on a wound, trigger all three extracts, and just get straight back to it. It means there's a lot less downtime for Insect Glaive, which feels really fucking good. It feels like, even though you can't be in the air for like ever, there's a lot less time where you're faffing about with extracts, and you just have all 3 and you can just hammer it. Also, when you do aim mode and you use just the left or the right mouse clicks to do your normal combos, your bug like co-ops with you and starts flying around and hitting the monster for a bunch of additional damage and like covering it in wounds. If you can get yourself like sandwiched just right between the monster's legs so that it can't kick you out or blast you, you can do a substantial amount of damage with that. Like, absolutely wail on them. Which is, again, it's really nice, but as an Insect Glaive user, I want to fly. So, I don't know. Taking away the recurring flight upsets me a little bit, but I think the things they've put in are really good. I still miss the ability to re-jump. But I think when the game actually comes out, it'll be more of me trying to... I think once you get used to the fact that you can't jump and keep jumping and jumping and jumping and jumping and then slam down for a bunch of damage and yada yada yada. Once you sort of work that out, I think the whole focus thing to get you all 3 extracts will actually be far better. And like a lot more useful. But Insect Glaive mains were born to fly. That's what we were born to do. That's all we want to do. We want to be in the air with a flying monster, beating it out of the air. It's like the greatsword users when they want to just, when a monster tries to like head on charge them and you get that perfect fucking headshot where you fucking annihilate them straight out of the attack and they just fall over. Like, Insect Glaive users want to be in the air with a flying opponent, just flying around, like, kicking them out of the air. And they've taken that away a little bit, which is a bit sad. But like I said, I think the fact that I think the get 3 extracts every time you use the wound ability is going to be really, really good. Like, really good for Insect Glaive users. So, we'll have to wait and see. I'm pretty sure I probably didn't use all of a bunch of stuff I should have been using. So, with things like, I was talking about earlier, I've never used the slinger very much. And I know it's a really good item, but I tend to just brute force Monster Hunter by just being better at the, dodging and moving and learning monster attacks and then fighting in combat. Like, I just prefer that side of things rather than, bait it to a trap, drop a bunch of stones on it, mount it, ride it into a wall, bait it into a trap, drop a bunch of stones on it again. Like, that's cool. And if you have the brains to pull that sort of shit off, it will absolutely destroy a monster. But I'd prefer to just 1v1 just fucking go ham and see if I can just beat it. So, I'm sure there are a bunch of Insect Glaive things that I missed. But, all in all, I mean, I've been playing this for 3.5 hours. I'm going to stop early because I'm tired, not because I don't want to play it. I will probably continue to play a bit more tomorrow, a bit more today and a bit more tomorrow, maybe. Depend if I'm playing it with people. Again, if the game was out now and this was the campaign, I would play for the next week and a half until I finish the campaign and then maybe farmed up some cool endgame, like final tier items. I would 100% do that. But because it's only these 4 monsters and it's not like you can make any gear from them, it kind of seems a bit, once you've done the 4 monsters, you're done. Maybe, but that's the point of the beta. It's just to, let you get used to the new abilities and the way things look and the monsters and all that sort of stuff. And like I said, learning how to use the focus mode, it feels really good. So if any of you Monster Hunter fans out there who aren't playing this demo, which I don't understand why you wouldn't, because it's literally free, go download it and play it. But if you say your computer can't run it, apparently this has been eating even mid-range computers. Like my computer's stacked, reasonably stacked at least. So I was going to run this fine. But apparently this has been eating mid to low range computers a little bit. So if you maybe don't have a computer to play the beta and you need to wait for the full game and hope that you have a computer that can run it then or whatever, fine, whatever. This was a lot of fun today. And the things they've put in, the focus mode and stuff like that, are still pretty good, or are fun to play. Fun to play with. So I'd say this is a decent success. And I had a lot of fun. Oh wow, my thunder resistance sucks. Maybe this is why I was getting absolutely fucking annihilated by that guy. Either way, thank you everyone for coming in and hanging out. If you're not sure whether you want to get Monster Hunter Wilds, I would hugely recommend trying this demo out if you can. If not, I mean, if you've played Monster Hunter World or Monster Hunter Rise, you're probably going to want to play or plan on, like, want to play or going to play when it comes out this game anyway. So what I have to say is of no importance. But the Monster Hunter franchise is brilliant. Every time they release a game, it is at least worth a play. Like, even the people that complained about Rise and said Rise was crap compared to World, it was crap compared to World, or not as good as World, but it was still a fantastic game and a great playthrough. I still really enjoyed Rise, even if it wasn't as good as World. And you can tell from me I played 100 hours of Rise and I played like 150 or 60 hours of World. World was far more fun. But I think this game is closer to World than it is Rise. So I think hopefully a lot of Monster Hunter fans will be happy. I personally am ecstatic. And yeah, so that's it for today. We won't be streaming tomorrow. We'll be back on Monday with more Subnautica, and I'm going to go fight a sea monster dragon, and it's going to be horrifying. So until then, thank you all for coming in, and I will see y'all later.